Hey everyone, welcome to Taste Different Gaming Appetizers. And what are we talking about today? Steam. They released, well, they didn't release, but they released some news about stuff they're going to be releasing. So we're going to get into it. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get started. Steam is going back to the machine. So if you don't remember, and I do, they used to have Steam machines back in the day. Way back in the day. I don't remember when the first Steam machines came out. I can't remember, but they were basically PCs that ran Steam OS. Essentially what they're doing here, but they're bringing it back. You know, the Steam machines back in the day really didn't kick off for Valve. And Valve has always had an issue with their hardware not taking off. The only thing that's really taken off for them is their Steam Deck and the Steam Index, right? The Valve Index. Their VR headset. Those two things really took off for them. But when they did Steam Machine and the Steam Link and the
2015
Steam controller,
was the Steam Machine.
2015.
Yep.
Those just really did not hit for Steam, but they're back at it. So we're going to try it again. If we're going with the console wars, a new contender has arrived. Valve's newest hardware aims to further bridge the gap between gaming PCs and consoles. Steam machines are back for the first time since Valve teamed up with manufacturers like Alienware and Lenovo back in 2010s. But while those original console PC hybrids failed because of lack of game compatibility with the nascent Steam OS, 2022's Steam Deck has paved the way for the Steam machine's return, which I think is better, right? The Steam OS has more compatibility. Valve's really been, especially with their Steam Deck, they've really been focusing on making sure that games are available to play on the Steam Deck. So they're going to be following along with that, their Steam machines and stuff like that. So they've really built up their OS and everything like that to run these games natively on their environment. So that's going to be an easier I think an easier time for these Steam machines. This time around, though, instead of partnering with outside manufacturers, Valve is building and releasing a singular Steam machine. So back in the day, they had several, right? Depending on different publishers created different Steam machines. So you had different price points and different types of hardware configurations and stuff like that. Now it's Steam, Valve. They're manufacturing and releasing a single Steam machine with a goal of being able to run all current games at 4K with upscaling. The secret behind this is the AMD RDNA 3 GPU with power roughly equivalent to RTX 4060 or an RX 7600 mobile graphics card. That might be disappointing to anyone looking to max out everything at high resolution, but it should have plenty of power while still being relatively affordable, we assume. Valve hasn't announced the price for it yet. And a lot of people had spent some time with the Steam machines. You can find some videos and various articles out there talking about their hands-on time with the machines. What's changed on the surface, this new Steam machine seems a lot like the old Steam machine. They're both gaming PCs with modest specs and meant to run games on Valve's own Linux-based Steam OS. But while the original machines had trouble selling, mostly due to high prices and the lack of Linux compatibility at the time, SteamOS has changed a lot over the last decade. That's what I was talking about earlier, how SteamOS has evolved since back then. The biggest part of that is Proton, Valve's compatibility layer that essentially translates Windows games to Linux, allowing you to play most of the Steam's vast catalog of games on SteamOS, even if they don't officially support Linux, which is helpful, right? Because before, you would need a game that is supported on the Linux environment in order for it to run. Now, Valve has created this layer, Proton, basically, that turns these games into compatibility with the Linux system, even if it doesn't officially support it. Anyone that uses Steam Deck over the last few years will know what most games run extremely well on the Steam OS, sometimes even with performance that exceeds the equivalent Windows 11 machines, as the case with the SteamOS version of the Lenovo Legion Go S. There are a few exceptions, notably some online multiplayer games with anti-cheat software that doesn't play nice with the SteamOS, like Battlefield 6 and Destiny 2, but for the most part, if it's on Steam, it will run on SteamOS. While they were at Valve playing on the Steam machine, the company had a wide variety of games installed to show it off. The PC ran everything from Cyberpunk 2077 to Silent Hill F without any major issues, though the latter did have some performance trouble. Obviously, once I get the Steam machine in the lab, that's what the article is saying, they'll be able to get more out of it. So as for the design, again, I think they have like a picture of it maybe down here in a minute, but a Steam machine might be a gaming PC, but it doesn't really look like it. It's a tiny black box with a slim RGB light bar across the front, mostly meant to indicate that it's on. And it's tiny. It's a PC cube that measures roughly 6 to 7 inches on each side and appears less than half the size of an Xbox Series X and closer in size to a GameCube. The front panel is magnetic. It can be swapped out to customize the way the console looks, which I like. For instance, when I was at Valve, I saw a Steam machine with a wood panel that contrasted beautifully with the rest of the all-black chassis. Valve hasn't confirmed whether or not it will be selling alternative front panels, but the company will release 3D printing files so you can make your own. And third-party accessory companies will undoubtedly sell plenty of custom options for you to choose from. Because it is essentially a desktop PC, there's a wealth of ports on offer with 2 USB-A and a micro SD port on the front. In the back, you'll find a display port, HDMI, 2 USB-A, and 2 USB-C ports, along with the power connector. What's impressive considering the machine size is that the actual power supply is internal, which is cool, which means you don't have to worry about fitting a giant power brick in your entertainment center. They did open it up so they could take a look. The bulk of the space is taken up by a giant heat sink, which has an exhaust fan in the back that sucks air through the front and bottom of the device and expels it through the rear to keep the device operating cool. It's a bold design, especially considering that the Steam Machine's GPU is operating with a TDP thermal design power of 110 to 130 watts. We'll have to wait and see how the thermals balance out when the system gets in review. The bottom of the chassis houses the SSD, which will either be 512 or 2 terabyte drive, depending on which version you buy. This drive is easily replaceable by the user. That's nice. Just like the Steam Deck, the Steam machine will ship with a NVMe 2230 drive. However, unlike Valve's handheld, the SSD slot has space for a full-sized NVMe 2280 drive, which are both more affordable and easier to find on store shelves. Don't get too hopeful about upgrading the device beyond the storage, though. The rest of the components are soldered on and will not be upgradable. And they talk about how that's a little disappointing, which I don't. I mean, I understand what Valve's doing here. So the Steam machine will also be available with a new Steam controller. So this is another thing they're creating is a new Steam controller. I have a Steam controller somewhere around here, the old one. So they're making a new one. It's somewhat similar, but it's different, kind of a different design. Bundled with controller or not, though, the PC will have a controller's wireless dongle built in, so you don't have to worry about always having one of your USB ports occupied by a little antenna. What's better, though, is that the Steam controller that's bundled with the system will also come with a wireless dongle, which you can use on other system, or just have it on the table next to you, wirelessly charge the controller while you're not using it. Tying things up is the RGB light bar that stretches across the bottom of the Steam machine, just below the removable front panel. Valve tells me that this is primarily meant to be a status indicator, but it is still user addressable with 13 lighting zones. So that means you would be able to like change it up. I don't know what Valve's, like they're saying here, I don't know what software Valve's cooking up for the lighting control. But something that can control the RGBs at the front. The Steam machine is powered by a custom chip made by AMD and Valve with an RDNA 3 GPU with 28 compute units and TDP between 110 and 130 watts, which would place it roughly around a mobile RX 3600. Not exactly the best graphics chips out there. This is paired with a 6-core Zen 4 GPU with a TDP around 30 watts. But despite the modest specs, the Steam machine seems to be capable gaming PC. They played Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K with the Ultra preset and FSR set to performance. And the action stayed nice and smooth. Even went into the settings menu and turned off ray tracing, and performance seemed to stay solid, though it didn't have a frame counter up telling me exactly what kind of frame rate I was getting. So, things were slightly different with Silent Hill F. After a lengthy process of installing the shaders, something every game needs nowadays, especially if you play on PC, you'll see that all the time when you first boot up a brand new game. I defaulted to the ultra settings at 4K with TSR, temporal super resolution, instead of AMD's FSR. At these settings, Silent Hill struggled, chugging along at what seemed about 15 to 20 frames per second. After adjusting the settings down to medium at 1440 with FSR enabled, things got much better. But this just highlights that the Steam machine is still a gaming PC at the end of the day. For better or worse, tweaking settings to optimize performance is a time-honored tradition among PC gamers, but less appealing to people who just want a plug-and-play game experience. Valve says it intends for the Steam machine to be able to play all current games at 4K with FSR upscaling, but there are going to be plenty of games, especially ones running on Unreal Engine 5, where you'll have to lower settings to get it running a smooth frame rate. Ultimately, you'll have to play around with that stuff. Who's this for? According to Valve, about 20% of the Steam Deck users used its official dock to connect the handheld to the TV. That may not seem like a lot, but given the Valves have shipped millions of Steam Decks, a first-generation product, remind you that 20% is not an insignificant amount of people. Of course, but the Steam Deck has its limitations. Let's see if they have they don't have a picture of it here. I don't know if they have a picture of it over. Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it reminds me quite a bit of when they revealed the Series X. They pop the top and then they showed everything. And
yeah, look at the size of that heat sink.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah, I believe that is from a '67 Chevy Nova. I believe that's the radiator.
We got a nice. Look, they got a nice big fan in the back. You got Ethernet power, USB. Or no, I'm sorry, HDMI display. 2 USBs, USB-C. On the back there. And then it looks like this is the part of the wireless chip here and something else. I don't know. And you can kind of see the controller. It might have a better picture of the controller.
I think there's one in there somewhere.
Well, you can probably see it online if they don't have a better picture of it. But
you got the internet, people. Go look at it yourself.
Look, I'm assuming that's just the light. They said there was a light bar.
Yeah,
so.
That's the LED bar that runs right under there. I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen. Nobody can see my finger. But yes, the light bar runs right underneath that panel.
So, like this person says here, I don't get who this is for. You could buy a good PC with just a little more and hook it up to your TV anyways, but have a real PC and access to other stores. I wouldn't pay $500 for it. So
that person I think shut up.
I think what this is for,
this is for the console gamer, in my opinion.
Exactly. You're exactly right. This is for the console gamer. This is for the plug and play gamer. Yes, there is a little bit of tweaking that you may have to do for certain games, but this is for the player that wants the PC experience but doesn't want to buy a PC, right? That doesn't want to go through the process of purchasing a PC. They want something that's already configured and put together with gaming in mind, right? And not have to guess about what they need to buy. Valve is offering a machine that says, hey, we're going to be able to play most games at this, right? Some games you might have to adjust the settings, but otherwise most games are going to run right out of the box. So you're going to have a very simplified, because SteamOS is a very simplified OS. It's not like Windows 11 that has a lot of other things. So if you're not a PC person that's looking for an operating system that does other things other than play games, then that's exactly who it's for, right? And that's why I was saying it's almost like Valve is entering the console market, right? In that sense, like, Xbox kind of is bowing out and we got a new contender coming in, right?
And that's what I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this could be the Xbox killer. Besides the Harry Carry Xbox is doing to itself, Xbox's next console is a console PC hybrid. I mean, they've already talked about it, they've already announced it. We don't know exactly the details, but this is what Xbox is wanting to do. Right. Essentially, it's a take it home, plug it in PC, which is what the new Xbox sounds like. So, I mean, technically, it's still an Xbox. I mean, Valve is making an Xbox because everything is an Xbox. So, I want to know how these two will conflict, the similarities of the two, and I mean, as a console gamer, I would take this. I mean, depending on stats and price and all that, I would take this because I trust Valve more than Microsoft. For everything that Microsoft has done to the gamers. So,
right.
That's that.
And
that
then
if you have
if you have a big Steam library already, that's going to be beneficial. Which, if you have a Steam library, more than likely you have a PC.
You probably have a good PC, but
yeah. But I mean, still, though, again, I think it is for those individuals that are console gamers that don't dabble in PC gaming at all, right? They don't really want to deal with it, and there are people out there like that, right? As much as people don't think there are, because most people would say, most people online or whatever would say, well, just go buy a PC. And I agree, just go buy a PC. And there you go. But there's a lot of people out there that just want the simple, the simple stuff, the simple life, right? They want to be able just to put it on their shelf, plug it in, hit power, and play something. They don't want to have to set up a PC or configure Windows or, make sure that whatever game they're playing is compatible to play on their machine, depending on its specifications. And there's so many configurations out there. Not everybody knows what configurations they should buy or that they want to buy, for what they're wanting to do. If they can have something that's already built, which they do have pre-built PCs.
Yes,
but again,
my PC is pre-built.
But again, there's a lot of people that don't want to go through the whole, there's a lot of configurations for pre-builts, right? And there's a lot of manufacturers out there. And so this is a pre-built again, but they're going to have one configurations. And, depending on how it works out in the, once these release and stuff, I think there's definitely an audience for it. And I agree with you. I think that's where Microsoft is going with their next, basically, I think what Microsoft is making next, their next Xbox, is basically a Steam machine. I think I even said that before. Like they were basically, that's basically what they're going to do. And the only difference between this and what Microsoft is going to be making is Microsoft is going to be running Windows 11 or some sort of Windows based version, whereas Steam's is running Linux.
Yep.
Or a Linux based, right? That's what Steam OS is based off of. So, that's really your difference. And then of course your accessories and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if it'll be interesting to see how that works out for Microsoft and Steam. I mean, Steam will be fine, but I'm wondering or Valve, I should say. But I'm wondering how it'll work out for Microsoft. It could be a good move, potentially, right? And it could change how console gaming is in the future, where they are more of a console PC hybrid than just this dedicated machine that only does, one thing. So,
that's kind of where this last generation of consoles has gone. I'm not the tech guy of the group by any means, but it used to be when you bought, say, PlayStation 1, you had to buy a memory card. Okay. you didn't really get an upgraded memory card. You got a memory card.
Yeah.
Then the OG Xbox built-in hard drive. Great, awesome. 360, they did the same thing. So they kind of got away from the memory card thing. And now with this latest generation, you can upgrade the memory. You can add into the PlayStation 5. You can also buy I wish Xbox would have done it the same way as PlayStation, but you can buy the solid state
the expansion cards.
Yeah. Right. And it's great that you can do those things. So I think consoles kind of going towards a PC slowly. And I think the next generation is going to be the big leap, the big jump towards cross blending PC and console.
Yeah.
So I think now's a good time for Steam to do it because, Microsoft is dead. Xbox is basically dead. They still have all their game studios. They're good. They're going to be fine with publishing, but as far as the console market, I think they're toast. I don't see their next generation, and I could be wrong, but I don't see their next generation being worth a crap because everything is an Xbox. I think, for like my son, he wanted to play Doom: The Dark Ages. He has my previous PC, which I can't remember what was in it. I want to say it was like a 3060, 3070 or something. And it couldn't play Doom: The Dark Ages. So, a machine like this would work great for him because he's not a big PC guy, but he would prefer to play on a PC. And if he could do that with something like this, that's affordable. But
we'll have to see what the price is for these. But if it's a pretty good price, then I could definitely see this being something that a lot of people will want. Right. Yeah.
The 4060 graphics cards like a $250, $300 right now. So
the 40
manufacturing all that. I don't know what this thing would run. Probably $700, $800.
They would if they can make it affordable. And I don't know what affordable is anymore. Besides,
no.
$200 is affordable, but when it comes to electronics, but anymore like $500 is no longer affordable.
Nope.
But I doubt it's going to be that cheap. But yeah, if they can keep it around the $700 mark, I think you'll get a lot of people that will want to have one of these, right? It'll be an easy entry especially for kids, for older folks or younger folks or non-tech savvy people. They're like, cool, I can just go buy this PC in a box, basically. That's from I know Valve. My son talks about it all the time, right? That type of thing.
I got one in the kitchen.
That's how I turn the water off. So I don't know. I just think there is an audience for it, and I think it will. I think it could work out well for Valve. We'll have to see, but
I'm okay with it. But wasn't there something else that Valve has announced? Not to
there is
not to outshine the Steam box.
So Valve officially also announced during this announcement of the Steam machines and everything, the Steam Frame, a streaming first standalone VR headset. Valve officially announced its Steam Frame, launching in early 2026. The Steam Frame is a lightweight modular design and runs a VR version of Valve's SteamOS, the Linux-based operating system, with an evolved version of the Proton compatibility layer that we talked about before. So it can run almost any Linux, Windows, and Android game, including Steam VR games. Many titles won't perform well on the mobile chipset, though, so Steam Frame has a wireless dongle in the box to leverage the power of your gaming PC, hence Valve's streaming first positioning. There's a lot of S's going on. The headset does not require or support base stations. It tracks itself and its included controllers using 4 onboard grayscale tracking cameras, 2 which can be used for monochrome pass-through, and it also has eye tracking for forfeited. What is that word? Do you know that word? This one here? What is that? Favorited streaming? Forwarded? I don't know how you say that.
Foveated.
Foveated?
Eye tracking for foveated stream.
Close enough. Foveated. I don't know. Foveated? Gefilte fish? Steam frame will replace Valve Index on the market, which the company confirmed with Upload VR is no longer in production and joins Valve's.
I got you. It's called foveated streaming, and it means the headset requests higher quality image for the content that's right in front of your eyes while lowering the resolution of the peripheral vision to reduce bandwidth and processing demand.
Wow, that's a big word for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, don't be foveated with me.
Foveated shells and cheese. All right. So it joins Valve's family of hardware products, which is also includes the Steam Machine, which we talked about, and the new Steam controller. There are hands-on impressions about it, so you can go out there and see that. It's lightweight modular design. It comes with a replaceable battery strap with a built-in dual driver speakers and a 21.6 WH rear battery. WH. The strap itself is fabric, and the rear battery unit has a soft padding, meaning it can collapse against the lens for portability and naturally deform when your head is resting on a chair, sofa, or bed. The core front box of the Steam frame weighs about 185 grams. Valve says while the entire system with the default included facial interface, speakers, strap, and rear battery weighs 440 grams. That makes Steam Frame the lightest, fully featured standalone VR headset to date. Steam Frame is a modular system, and Valve will make the CAD and electrical specifications available to third parties to build custom facial interfaces and head straps. Someone could, for example, build a rigid strap that with an open interface, or a fully soft strap with a tethered battery, which, much like the Meta Oculus, expect a lot of third-party accessories and stuff like that. Steam Frame will feature dual 2160 by 2160 LCD panels, meaning it has twice as many pixels as the Valve Index and roughly the same as the Meta Quest 3. The panels have a configurable refresh rate of 72 Hz and 120 Hz with an experimental 144 Hz mode, just like the Index. Valve says the multi-element pancake lenses in front of the panels offer very good sharpness across the full field of view, which the company describes as slightly less than Index and conversely 110 degrees horizontal and vertical. Lens separation is manually adjusted via a wheel at the top of the headset, letting wearers match their interpupillary distance for visual comfort. There's too many big words in here.
That is a lot of big words,
but Steam Frame does not support DisplayPort or HDMI in. It is not a tethered headset. Instead, Valve is going all in on compressed wireless streaming, aiming to perfect it with a combination of clever hardware and software. The headset has 2 separate wireless radios. One is used as a client connecting to your home Wi-Fi network on a 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz band for general internet connection for SteamOS. The other is a 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6E hotspot created by the headset that SteamVR on your PC automatically connects to via the USB adapter included in the box. Woo. It is truly dedicated point-to-point connection between Steam Frame and your PC. This gives Valve's precise firmware level control over the entire network stack for the Windows PC VR and eliminates the problem you might experience using other standalone headsets for this, such as being bottlenecked by the router that's either too far away, blocked by too many walls, congested by other traffic, or just supplied by your ISP because it was cheap. Of course, some enthusiasts already have a high-quality Wi-Fi setup for PCVR with a premium router and access point in the room where they play. Valve tells us that such people can continue to use their setup instead of the adapter if they really want, but suspects they won't. The other feature Valve has implemented to make the wireless PC VR experience as good as it possibly can be for the that word again, fervited, streaming. Steam Frame has built-in eye tracking, and when using your PC VR, it's always used to encode the video stream in higher resolution when you're where you're currently looking, which that's cool, So wherever you're looking, it's higher resolution than what's around it.
Yeah.
While this feature has existed as part of the Steam Link VR for Quest Pro since the app launched in late 2023, Valve says the Steam Frame
say it.
Favorite I don't know. How did you say it again?
Foveated.
Just
take off the faux and you
streaming
have
has lower latency and greater precision thanks to the companies controlling the entire software stack of the headset side. And there's some more stuff about how much RAM and GPU and stuff like that, and some other really cool features, but I don't want to make this video 2 hours long. So you can go online or take a look in our link. We'll have a link to this where you can check out all the specs and everything like that. I will say, out of everything Steam announced, the Steam computers, the Steam controllers to the Steam Frame, the Steam Frame was the most I was excited for personally, because I read it and I thought that sounds pretty cool. I like where that's going, because you can also play VR games and non-VR games through the Steam Frame. And I like the whole wireless thing, because that's one thing I like about the Quest. I just wish it didn't have the bottlenecks. And if they can eliminate the bottlenecks, then that would be an awesome experience, especially being lighter, because, we both have Quest 3s. And the thing about the Quest, it's a cool machine. I really like it, but it is heavy.
Yep.
So, that's one thing I said that would really make VR pop off is cutting the cables, right? If you can cut all the cables out, which Quest did, right? And that's why it's popular. One, it's cheap. And two, it's cheaper. And two, it doesn't require you to be connected or tethered to things, right? And that's where they need to go. Like, if they can go even further than that in the future, then VR will be even more adaptable. But this sounds like a good step in the right direction, I think, for VR's future, right? Because I've heard the Index is a really good VR machine, but they've basically, the Index is old now comparatively. We've had several versions of the Quest, since then, from the MetaQuest. MetaQuest has had 2 other iterations, whereas Steam has had only the Index. And so it's nice that they're going to, bring out a competitor, or not competitor, but a successor to the Index with the Frame. So anyway, I already have a VR headset, but the Steam Frame definitely has me interested. Like, I'm interested in I really want to try it out and check it out and stuff like that. So I think that was the most exciting thing I saw personally. What do you think?
I think the consoles / PC was more exciting. And that's only because I feel that we're not making the right strides in VR. I think VR needs to quit concentrating on just this, and it needs to concentrate on encompassing. I want Lawnmower Man. Yes, I want Lawnmower Man. I want to feel the whole body thing. I want to.
You know how expensive that would be?
I don't give a shit. Look at me. I'm rich, baby. I got a fat dog. I got figures.
You could get all that stuff, right? Because they have the vest and they have that little pod that you can walk in.
Yep.
They got all that shit. It's just you got to buy it separately.
Yeah. See, I think they need to concentrate on making it condensed, cheaper, and cheaper. Because
if you could go into it like Ready Player One or something like that, where you're like, where you don't even feel like you have, or like Surrogates, that one with
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis,
he remembers,
something like that. Like that would be cool.
Yeah, no,
you don't even know. You don't even know you're there,
and I don't want to know. That's the thing about VR. The Quest 3, I was playing Batman, and as soon as I had to do the cape to fly across this little crevasse, I wished I would have felt the cape in my hands. Just some sort of
put a cape on.
See, I did, but my wife said I had to wear underwear. So
he was only wearing a cape.
That was where my spider webs come from on my other game. But I do this, and visually I feel it. It felt great, and Batman in VR is phenomenal. It really is. But I wished it had that contextual feeling when I pull the cape out, or like if I reach in and I throw out my batarang, I want to feel like sensations on my fingertips. I want that level of immersion. When I die, I want, Gates and Musk and whoever else to figure out a way to just shove a probe up my ass where I live forever in a VR world. I'm dead, so I don't care how big the probe is either.
Right.
So, but that's the VR I wish we could.
It's like that South Park where the Cartman had that probe antenna, call the aliens in.
Laying down the table, and it goes. But I mean, that's where I wish they would concentrate.
I mean, they'll get there eventually, but you got to make strides in the headset market, right? I mean,
I think the headset market's fine.
I don't think it's there yet.
I mean, when
not 100% there yet.
No. I mean, this is another step with the wireless. I mean, and really, it would be great if it just came down to throwing on some goggles or contacts or something,
or like just a pair of glasses or something. Right? Not like a whole headset, but I mean, where do you put the hardware? Right, they make the hardware small enough that it can fit into the micro, little piece of the frame of the of the glasses, like the glasses you're wearing there, like all the chipsets are like right here on the frame.
And that's what they're going to end up doing. Everybody's going to end up with chips in their heads anyway. So why not hook up some VR? Just plug it, double tap on your ear, and your
one cord goes in your butt, the other one goes in your mouth.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute, I got them mixed up. But I think I love the fact that Microsoft has more problems in their future because of the stupid decisions they have made. So I like the fact that Valve it seems to be doing a better job of opening up to the console market with this. And I like the idea of PlayStation having more competition than what they got, because you got to have competition, because with Microsoft basically flushing themselves down the Harry Carey toilet, Nintendo doing just whatever Nintendo wants, Sony has nobody to keep the reins tight, keep them from just completely screwing the gaming market. So but that's just me. But I like the controller for the Steam Deck though. The Steam.
I mean, I used the original controller and it wasn't bad. Like the original Steam Deck.
But it's the pads, right? Controller. It was just the circle pads.
It had sticks, I think, too.
Did it have sticks?
It had the pads the same as well. I can't remember. I have to go find mine. But this one, this one has the pads as well, but they're on the bottom, right? So they're kind of out of the way. Whereas the pads were like the main focus of the old one. This is like more of a traditional controller with the pads there still. As like a secondary usage.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I guess time will tell how well this works. Time's going to tell the price of it. And
that too.
I honestly, I'd like to see them beat Microsoft to market.
With what, VR?
Or no, with console.
Oh, okay. They probably will.
because everything's an Xbox.
I mean, they're
unless
already
you don't
showing
buy
the
one.
console off, right? I mean, they're already
Yes.
showing Xbox. All we've heard is it's going to be big.
Yeah.
And that's
We
about
have
all we've heard.
concepts of an ideal, and it's going to be Underball. And
Whereas
you're going to
Steam
be able
is,
to,
Valve has shown off the hardware, the device, even hands-on with it, having people people do hands-on with that and the frame as well. So these things are probably set for next year, more than likely. I mean, the frame is, right? It said early 2026.
Yes.
So I would say probably next year we'll see the console too.
I hope it does good because we need competition in the gaming console market. And I think that's where this thing is going to be geared towards.
Right.
But you're also going to be able to hit, like you were talking about, grandma and the kids, who want to experience PCs. Like my son, I want to get him a new PC, but if I do, he's just going to get my old one.
Right.
And I'll get a new one, and he's going to run into the same damn problems eventually.
Right.
But that's his problem, not mine.
Right. Yeah, and it'd be easier too. Like if if your kid wants a PC, like it may be, and if you as a parent don't want to mess with having to troubleshoot their computer every time you turn around, it may be easier to go the console route, or in this case, a Steam machine, and be like, here you go, it's a PC, but it's basically plug and play, right?
Yep.
A little bit of manipulation, but mostly plug and play.
Yeah. Everything's basically big picture mode. Enjoy it. Don't watch porn. That's what this little PC is going to be.
Right. So you still got a PC. You can play PC games. It's just an all-in-one device.
Yep.
Essentially.
Sounds good to me.
That hooks up to your television, right? So
I got my PC hooked to the TV.
Yeah, you can hook your PC
monitors.
up to your TV.
I mean,
always, if you're, like I was saying, just to lead this out, if you can afford a PC, or if you can go the route of a PC, I would definitely go that route. But, this is definitely for the people that don't want to go that route or can't, or, and again, it depends on the price of the Steam machine when it comes out.
Yeah.
Anywho, let us know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Steam machine, the Steam controller, the Steam frame? Lots of Steam. What do you think of all of it all? Let us know down in the comments. Are you excited for anything? Are you not? Do you not care? I don't really. It depends. Like I said, I already have a PC, so I'm not really interested in the Steam machine itself. The Steam controller, depending on the price of it, I might get one just for shits and giggles. And then the Steam frame, I am interested in. I want to see how it performs and stuff like that. They do have hands-on, but I want to personally use it myself. Because I might be interested in something like that, even though I have an Oculus. So anyway, let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.
See ya.